Hello, everybody. Welcome back to In the Pit with Jeff. Thought I'd give you a quick update on my dad's P51 Mustang. I received some of the vinyl graphics from my brother-in-law John and got some of them installed. I just figured doing it this way would save me a bit of time on masking and painting, but he could also cut all my masks for me. So anyways, that's how she turned out. I got it over some of the raised panels, and then what I did was I took, where the heck is it? There we go. I got this burnishing tool, which I use it for doing the old letter sets for lettering and rubbing it over to get your letters to stick on stuff when you're doing any writing and stuff. So I used it to go along and burnish along the panel lines and around the raised panels to get it to show up a bit better. And then I took, sorry about that, got this pin vise, this piece of brass tubing in it, and just lightly, just ever so slightly, poked it back down into the vinyl, gave a little twist, and then took a screwdriver and just made you zoom in, made the little slot for like the Zeus fastener. So that turned out pretty good. And then I took my little riveting wheel. I still got to make a better bracket for it, or handle assembly for it. And while the pre-mask was still over the vinyl decal, took a straight edge and ran the wheel over. And then when I removed the vinyl pre-mask for the vinyl, you can lightly see some rivet detail in there. And at the same time, I made my little identification lights. Basically, what I got was every time I open up one of our half and half milks cartons, I kept these tops. So then what I did was I sprayed it aluminum. I took a brass tube, used it to cut the hole out. Some of them I didn't get them quite centered, and I stuck just siliconed on the backside some LED lights that I had, and then we just glued those into the wing, and then glued the trim ring that we had 3D printed on, and then I just used some push pins to simulate the screws. I was going to use some screws, but I couldn't find some small ones. I thought I had some from taking old computers apart, so I just used the pin heads. Now, if it was my dad, he would have chucked each pin up in his little tag lathe and run the cutting tool across, and just, well, it's not running but static, and make little grooves in the simulate to slots and stuff. But I'm not that fussy right now on this thing. So basically got that done, and it worked out good. Just cut it around where the aileron servo access panel will be. Got the fuel tank drops painted, doors for the retracts, the retract unit painted, the landing gear doors all painted, same as on this side. So it's coming along pretty good. Don't mind the mess. A big bomb went off in this shop. I have to get down here and clean it up. I just stuck the pieces on there for now. All right, I'm going to pause you guys for a second, and I'm going to turn this over. All right, hang on for a second. We're going to go for a little ride. And we're back. Sorry about that. First step before you turn the plane back over is remove all your doors and stuff off that are just sitting on top of the wing, because you have a little bit of a cleanup to do. Luckily, I only lost a couple servo covers and was able to grab all the other stuff. Here's some photos of Glamorous Glen there. And then this magazine, I believe this was at Mount Hope Airport. They had Mustang row before. So I got that. So what I've done is I've sent this picture to my brother-in-law, Johnny, with some measurements, and he can put it in his computer, draw it all up, print it, cut it, pre-mask it, ready to install by the time I get it back. And then I laid out the other day, I laid out the anti-glare on it. I had my dad's windshield on there before, from originally when I started doing the restoration of it, and it kind of got all scratched up in that. So I pulled it all off. I got to pull a new canopy still, but I didn't want to put it on while I'm still doing all the painting and everything again, because what happens is I'm going to knock it off. And then the wing, the body, the fuselage, just the big gap is the fuselage is just sitting on top of the wing. But basically, got that same thing, just installed that, and then burnished the panel lines on there. I left the panel lines on to raise them up. I know it should be flush. I should have removed them, but I would have ended up with probably the gray primer underneath. There's the side, got side graphics on her. Doesn't look too shabby. It's not going to be perfect. Don't mind all my mess in the background. I still have to paint that little bit of red on the rudder balance back to aluminum. Basically the flap for the, if it'll fit in better, but you get the idea. There's the L for you don't step off the edge and stuff, and where to just step on the flap, I guess, when you're getting into the airplane. Again, I still haven't made a new instrument panel yet for it. I want to put in a new Sullivan onboard igniter for the glow plug. They're on back order from my hobby store, so I have to check to see if there's something else we can use. Apparently they're back ordered till August, which doesn't bother me because it won't be flying anytime soon. Still waiting for my son to make the retracts for it. But yeah, it's coming along. It's starting to take shape. Ooh, there's the hurricane in the background. And the big thing now will be laying out, where's my finger? Laying out the checkerboard for it. But just a quick update, let you know we're still plugging away on this airplane. Alrighty. Want everybody to have a safe day. Hope everybody had a happy Father's Day. Where I am in Brantford, Ontario, Canada, we're not that far from the Mount Hope Airport. Well, it used to be called Mount Hope Airport. Now it's like the Monroe Airport or whatever. The old YHM. Went to the Canadian Warplane Heritage Museum. If your kid brought your dad, the dad got in free. So basically I met my son and daughter-in-law and our grandchild Faith. So Jay got me in for free. Faith brought her dad, Jay, so he got in free. So basically, we just had to pay for the two girls. So that was pretty good. I got a couple of little short video of the Lancaster warming up before it went for another flight, taking people for a trip. And when I was getting Shelly into the van, it flying over. All right, maybe I'll attach it to the end of this. All right, everybody, be safe. Have a good day. From In the Pit, Jeff. Bye.